Welcome, everyone, to the Vision Untethered podcast and our special edition of Behind the Chair. This series is called Behind the Chair because most leaders only see inside their own business. But there is a small group of people who sit across dozens of companies at once. They see the patterns, the breakdowns, and the breakthroughs in real time. Because these aren't polished case studies, they're raw, candid conversations from the seat of the Vistage chair. And what they carry from that seat is perspective you can't get any other way. My name is Jill Simonds, founder and CEO of Savvy. We help business owners scale confidently with a fractional C suite that delivers immediate results and increased value for growing companies. Joining us today is special guest Bridget Wenman, an executive coach, leadership strategist, and business consultant with more than 25 years of experience helping leaders and organizations grow and succeed. She serves as a best practice chair and CEO group chair at Vistage Worldwide, where she leads peer advisory groups for CEOs, senior executives, and helping them all navigate challenges, strengthen their leadership, and drive measurable results. Known for her passion and for people development and community impact, Bridget was honored with the Athena Leadership Award for her leadership and mentorship. Outside of work, she enjoys life in central Wisconsin with her husband, Tom, their 4 children, and 6 grandchildren. Bridget, so excited to have you here with us today to share your wisdom.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm excited to chat with you as well.
Yes, I'd love to know first, just quick story that brought you to this position and choosing to serve organizations through Vistage as a chair.
Thank you. Yes. So actually, I had gotten a call from my sister who was interviewing to be a Vistage chair in a different part of our state. And when
Mm,
she was interviewing, they said they were looking for somebody up in central Wisconsin. And she's like, you got to talk to my sister. So I had already been doing some executive coaching at that point. I had started my business in 1998.
mhm,
Really beginning with working with employees that, people were struggling with employees that just weren't doing what they needed to do. And so I kind of built my business around that. And
mhm,
what's interesting is when you have an employee that's struggling, who do they blame, right? Their managers. And then the
mhm,
managers blame the VPs, and the VPs blame the owners. So it kind of just
mhm,
very organically worked
mhm,
up to executive coaching 20 years ago, actually.
mhm,
I had a bank president that really recognized that it started with him. So he
mhm.
was really open to that coaching himself. So I started sort of organically executive coaching. And then Vistage found me about 10 years ago. And
Okay.
so I'm sure as you're talking to Vistage chairs, it's like the best gig ever. I mean,
Mm,
just such meaningful and impactful work. I couldn't imagine doing anything else. And I also have an entirely different aspect of my business that continues to run as well. Now that I brought my daughter into it a couple of years ago, and she's
oh, well,
sort of
great.
taking
Yeah.
a different piece of that original business that I started. So, and ultimately she'll take
Wow.
it as well. But
Okay.
yeah,
All in the family. Sounds like between, yeah, your sister, yourself, and now your
yeah.
daughter.
And my sister is still a chair,
Mhm.
so she's yeah. So I think we're probably one of the only sister
Sister
sisters that
duos.
chairs. Yeah.
And
Yep.
both in Wisconsin area
Yes.
or state. Great.
Yep. Yep.
Well, excellent. Well, she may have to be on our show as well. That could have been fun to have the two of you and do a
Yeah.
little an
Yeah, for
episode
sure.
together. Yeah. After working with so many leaders over the last decade, especially, but even beyond that in executive coaching, I'm sure you see it's all the same. What's the most common pattern that you see holding businesses back as they attempt to scale?
And it's interesting. I'm going to actually pull in another one of my family members because my youngest daughter is also a Vistage speaker
Mm,
on Gen Z. And she
wow.
talks about the power of connection and building more connection and courage among those Gen Zs. So it's really taken off. And Honestly, it's the lack of connection or people really not
Hmm.
understanding the importance of connecting at every level in an organization. So a lot of times a CEO
Mm,
will come in and they'll have all of their, their VPs and their teams and their managers and they'll connect at that high level. But truly the best leaders that I know of connect at all levels. And I'll give you a
hmm.
quick example of that. One of my leaders that has been a member of mine for 10 years began working in an organization as their president. And the first 2 weeks he spent out on the floor learning
Mm,
every job.
hmm.
Now, was he learning to be good at it so he could do it and take it over and tell them how to do it?
Right.
No. He was
Hmm.
learning to let those people take pride in their craft and teach him something new that he knew he wouldn't be good at, but it
Hmm.
just was a way for him to connect with all of those individuals and talk about winning the hearts and minds of your people, right? And so
Right.
that was such a powerful connection. And he was told, like,
Mm,
nobody has ever done that for them. And they had, I think, I want to say they went through at least four CEOs or four presidents in a matter of, 6 or 7 years. And they said nobody did that. And he just
mm,
won their hearts and minds because he connected with them, not in an arrogant way or a teaching way, but Lord, like you teach me what you bring to this
yeah.
organization. And so it's such an it's such a missed skill. So
Wow.
leaders to connect at every level
Mm,
and for them to help them connect with each other. Um,
hmm.
and there's so many different examples of the really good leaders that I've worked with. Uh, we
Yeah.
we were on a tour at one facility, and the president, after the facility, we were in our one-to-one after that tour, and he's like, "Oh, Bridget, you know what I realized?" He says, "I went out on that floor, and so many people said, 'Oh my gosh, we haven't seen you in months.'" And
Hmm.
it hit him right between the eyes. He's like, "I have to
Yeah.
schedule every month. I got to walk the floor at least for a
Mm,
couple of hours and connect with everybody." He goes, "Because I used to know all of their names." And he
yeah.
goes, and they were like, "We don't see you anymore." And
Mm,
so that's a really
yeah.
important
This
skill.
is such, you just bring up such a different point than a lot of other leaders have, which is really interesting because it seems so simple. A lot of people talk about the fact that more so the business is stuck and what's holding them back is the over involvement from the CEO in areas that they feel like they have to help steward or step in for.
Oh, for
And
sure.
but what's so complementary to the way that you're expressing this and explaining it is the fact that that role demands in us empowerment and stewardship of everybody, regardless of what position they're in. And there's this mentality almost in scaling organizations that the more removed from that day to day, that which is true. Like it's one thing to meddle in the work, but you're phrasing it in a way that's like empowerment and connection with the people. And there's a live example of this in one of the clients that we're serving that there's murmurs or um, chatter sometimes about how little maybe senior leadership knows about what the demands of what they do every day require. And that creates a divide, it creates a chasm and a disconnect that could be so powerful to manifest trust and leadership and vision if they just show up in a way that's not like, I'm not here to tell you how to do this, I'm not here to correct the way you're doing this or feel like I need to. I want to learn and just connect with you as people, to know your names, to hear what's going well. uh, so
Yeah.
I love the way that you position that because it's different. You definitely said it in a way that's resonating really well and hopefully resonating with people listening, is that yes, there's this fine balance as a CEO of where your involvement can make an impact with your team without it being, directive or constructive of how they're doing the work, but just an appreciation for what they do to empower them to just continue to thrive. So
Right. Right. And
I
make
love that.
what they
Yeah.
did and do
Right.
is an important part of what's
Yes.
happening. And yeah,
Hmm.
it's absolutely, it wasn't to learn their job so they could tell them how to do it better. It was
Exactly.
to learn their job to appreciate and show
Yes.
them that they're
Like, let me
appreciated.
recognize and express how much your work matters and how much you matter in this work, that you're a part of something. And here's what, here's what all of your work is contributing to in this grander scheme. So we need you. We need your insights. That's beautiful. I love
Yeah.
that.
And really valuing that company had a lot of long-term,
Hmm.
20-year employees, and to just really value their skill and their
Yeah.
level of expertise and just make them feel
Hmm.
like, "Ugh, I taught the president something, you know." I think he
Yeah.
weld, it was crazy. But that
Yeah.
being said, juxtapose
Hmm.
that against the hamster wheel president or CEO that feels like, oh, I'm just running on this hamster wheel and I have to do everything. I have to get involved with everything.
Right.
That's not effective. And I would say that would
Hmm.
prevent you from scaling, right?
Hmm.
So,
Yeah. Such a good positioning of that. Thank you. What's been the most difficult truth that leaders have to face about themselves that you have found?
so it's interesting because when you talk about leaders, I actually teach all levels of, or
Yeah,
I work with all levels of leaders. Let me
right.
just put it that way.
Hmm.
But I teach a transformational leadership class that works with younger leaders, maybe newer managers, and probably
Hmm.
the biggest thing for them to learn is that their individual contribution to the company really doesn't mean anything anymore. It's the contribution of their teams and the productivity of their teams that
Yeah.
are more important than their own personal contribution. And that's a really hard one for leaders to make that adjustment to when they're first developing as managers. Like,
Hmm.
oh, it's actually a good thing if I can go away for a full day meeting and my team can do what they need to do. It's a good thing
Right.
for me to not be accessible to them 100% and let them figure it out. It's a really hard, probably the biggest thing. I run 360s on all of my participants in that program. Probably the
Hmm.
biggest thing they struggle with is delegation,
Yeah.
empowerment. To really
Mm.
understand like they were promoted because they're really good and at what they do. And
Right.
so for them to know, like, that doesn't matter now. What we really want you to do is help 10 people be really
Hmm.
good at what you do. And what
Hmm.
you do is just that. Your success
Right.
is truly built on what
Yeah.
they're producing. And it's a really hard because it's so easy to just feel, it's so much easier to just do it yourself, but it's
Mhm.
not scalable.
Right. Yeah. And such a different skill set with just the competency and capacity in something. It's a whole nother skill set to curate a team to do it well and manage and just, manage people. And so a
And
lot of
it's slowing you
organizations and
down.
promotion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, yeah, I was literally just talking to my son about this as he got a new intern and he's working on this project, and it's like
Mm.
slowing him down because he has to
Hmm.
explain everything to this intern. And I'm like,
Yeah.
that's the management skill. That's what they
Yeah.
see.
It's like
Because,
you have to slow down for this to move because, yeah,
yeah,
it's there's only so long it's scalable for you to be the one running all these pieces. And so now to build that as a legacy, right? Because that's what I think of with legacy is not this story that people say about you and this, amazing reputation and legacy. It's have you built something that lives beyond you and thrives beyond you? And so like that legacy building as a leader. Love
right.
it. Yeah. What are some signals that you see that a company is at the point of outgrowing the way the leader, and in this case, more so probably, executive or owner, CEO, the way that they've been operating?
You know, there's a point where we have to leave people behind that
Mm,
can't grow with an organization. And probably some of the conversations we have, it's like people that have been with the company since they were, maybe
yep.
sometimes 20, 30 years and
Right.
worked when that company was 10 million or
Mm-hmm.
even 5 million, 10 million, even 20
Mm-hmm.
million does not work when they're your 40, 80, $100 million company. And
Mm-hmm.
so very often leaders hold on to people way longer than they should because they're
Always.
trying to make this person
Mm-hmm.
again who's really good at their jobs be something that they're not. And
Mm-hmm.
that's, sometimes I really get very defensive about CEOs that get bad raps. Everybody thinks they don't have a heart or they don't care
Sure.
about their people. They care almost too much sometimes because like
Exactly.
this
Yeah.
person that grew with them, they want to have them, and so it's
Mm-hmm.
that figuring out how
Yeah.
they can contribute without having to be a manager or a leader that, which is
Yes.
tough because people get promoted either for productivity, but more
Mm.
often for loyalty.
Yeah.
So you've been there a really long time, last man standing kind of thing. It's like, oh, but then they grow into these positions. They're really they need, and that's very often where you need to hire somebody from the outside that has that kind of experience. And
Yes.
really
Yep.
hard.
Yep.
Really.
Michael Flannery, he's Denver based. You know, Michael Flannery, he's a chair here.
Okay.
Or I should say Boulder, I think. But yeah,
Okay.
Denver surrounding area said the exact same thing on our episode as well about the risk associated with, or at least seeing the risks around trying to continually promote internally and that be, there's a balance, there's a fine balance. And like you said, I think we see more often CEOs struggle to let go than they're quick to, right? So, but we end up
Well,
putting that individual in a position of not succeeding and, trying to do our best by loyalty, but it ends up being far worse for the organization and for anybody involved in the long run if that's not the right fit for them.
and it's scary to bring someone in from an outside at that VP level because
Mm-hmm.
let's face it, everybody has imposter syndrome. So you're talking about bringing
Mm-hmm.
in a high level person that maybe worked at a company that is 100 million and you
Yeah.
go CEO that just got there. It's like, oh,
Mm-hmm.
find out that I don't know what I'm doing, or that there are
Right.
all these systems aren't done. Most companies don't have great systems when they grow really fast from a young company, and their HR systems might not be great. There's just things that happen, and they're so afraid of bringing someone in from the outside they're going to say, you can't do that. They
Yeah.
that control, and especially I think about like
Mm-hmm.
when you bring in an HR person from outside, they don't like doing that because it's like I can't.
Especially HR. Yeah, you're like, am
Yeah,
I going to get
right.
in trouble for something I kind of just didn't want to look at in the first place?
Right,
Like, don't tell me something I'm going to be in trouble for now. Like, I can't handle that at this moment.
right.
Yeah, so let's just
But
keep
even,
cruising along like we don't know that's a problem.
yeah.
Yeah, I
But
see
even
that all
like
the time.
VP of Ops or
Sure.
it's
Yeah.
easier to bring in somebody like a VP of, technology or IT because those are things that like nobody understands those things. So it's like, okay, we can bring somebody in like that.
Yeah,
But it's just
exactly.
they yeah, infusing people that understand larger businesses is really hard and but
Hmm.
necessary. But
Yeah,
necessary.
absolutely. Yeah, so good. Well, now we're going to move into a bit of a lightning round. It's kind of a one quick, first thing that comes to mind, short answer segment, our
Okay.
lightning round. Okay. One leadership behavior that leaders must stop doing.
I would say it's a behavior, but arrogance.
Hmm.
Arrogance, just ego, arrogance doesn't work in any
Yeah.
capacity.
Yep.
Okay, not gonna be one word, but I will tell you this.
Yeah.
One of my members said to me, arrogance will always cost you money in the long run. it'll make you money in the short run, but
Mhm.
it'll always come back to bite you because you're too arrogant to realize what you don't know, and it will come
Yeah.
back to bite you every time. And I just think that's so true. Like, and I do say the difference between arrogance and confidence is
Hmm.
insecurity.
Ooh, yes. Because someone with the confidence is secure, trust, right? And kind of embodies and is like
Willing to
open.
understand that they don't know everything,
Yes, like
but confident in
open.
what they know,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
Willing, those are our members, like members. That's why I love Vistage leaders,
Mm,
because if you're in a
yeah.
Vistage group, you're smart enough to know that you're not that smart.
Yeah. And you're putting
No.
yourself in a room where you don't want to be the smartest person in the room. And that's a confidence that you're showing up in insecurity to be open, to learn, to grow from others, as opposed to someone arrogant coming in that's closed. I already got the answers. I'm here
Yeah.
to prove I'm the smartest person in the room. Yeah.
I had a
Yeah.
prospect once that I was recruiting for my group, and he
Hmm.
goes, "Well, I just don't want to be the smartest guy in the room." And I literally said, I
Don't
said, "I
worry.
don't think
You're
that's going
not.
to be a problem." And he goes,
You're
"What?" I go, "Do you have any idea who's in my group? Like these people are
right.
crazy smart. Like my members are crazy smart." And
Yeah.
I started listening like, "Do you know this person's in my group and this person's in my group?" And like, yeah,
Yeah.
you
You're
don't have to
like,
worry
do
about it.
you know who we are? Do you
Who they are,
actually?
really.
They
And
are.
so to me, and
Yeah.
I did let that guy in my group for a little bit, and it didn't
Mhm.
work because he
Yeah.
was so always trying to prove himself to everybody, and people just got tired of it. Like nobody cares what you think
Yeah.
you know.
Exactly. Yeah.
So yeah,
Interesting.
so it's
Ah,
not one word,
s-
but it is
yeah.
arrogance.
I love that. I'm gonna keep that. That's like embedded now. Like the difference between arrogance and confidence. The arrogance is the insecurity and already needing to know. Love that. Okay. One thing every leadership team needs more of.
Connection,
Hmm.
connection.
Yep. Exactly. And then one mistake leaders repeat again and again.
Not asking for help early enough.
Oh, yes.
Not
Yeah,
asking
thinking
for
they're alone. That's like, I'm all alone in this. I've got to figure it out by myself. I don't need help.
right, right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Not
good.
yeah, not asking for help. And that's at every level.
Hmm. For sure. Oh, yeah. I mean, even when we're, yeah, sitting from this seat of like, I've got to have the answers and I've got to know. And it's like, yeah, the more vulnerable we are with asking and needing to figure it out together, the more we invite people into that journey, the more powerful we all become. Yeah. Connected, like talk about the connectedness that opens that door to really hone in on the strength as a team. So
Yeah.
love it. Bridget, thank you so much for being here and sharing your wisdom. And I have a special place in my heart for chairs, obviously, and what you all do, being a member myself and just knowing the impact firsthand. So if people want to learn more about you and the state of Wisconsin, any business owner, CEO that needs to know you, where can they find you and get in touch?
So the easiest way is perspectivestraining.com, and that's perspectives with an S. So it's B Wenman at perspectivestraining.com. You can also
Hmm.
find me on LinkedIn. I think I'm the only Bridget Wenman that I've ever known in the world. So I have on. So you can find me
Yeah,
on LinkedIn. So that's a great option. And yeah. And if you're with the Vistage Network, you can always find me on there at Bridget.Wenman at vistagechair.com. But so
great.
yeah,
Excellent.
thank you.
Well, thank you so much. And everyone listening, thank you so much for listening in today. And we will see you next time.